Hello, how you doing today? Welcome to another episode of Ubuntu and Open Source. Today I would like to talk about why I use Linux and why I believe you should too. One of the reasons is security. There's a user firewall here. Now once it's turned on, it's turned on. And so it's active. The other reason I like to use Linux, the system is password protected for installations and upgrades of software. This is the software and update. And for the software and updates that you install and updates, all these check marks is where your system's going to look for additional software that you choose to install or update when it comes time to update. And so we have this little trusted software providers and authentication here, part of this as well. So if another piece of software tries to say, as you can see, I have LibreOffice here, tries to say, hey, I'm LibreOffice. Well, guess what? The software updater is going to check these for these authentications. And if it's not a part of it, it's just going to ignore it. So it's password protected as well. I can close that one. So like if I want to, I'm going to install these applications here. And every time you install applications, oops, wrong. Every time you install applications, it's going to ask for that password that you created during the install. This is just one way of installing applications using terminal. I'm going to minimize that. So it's kind of hard for your system to get infected by viruses, malware, Trojans. First you have a firewall, then you have a password protection for installing and upgrades. Now here I have the file browser. And it automatically, most of the time, it will automatically come to your home folder. Now if we go back and say I go to one of these and I try to right click and move to trash. Even if I say yes, the file operation was completed with errors. Unable to trash file, permission denied. So, as a part of Linux, there's a user area and then the system area. And the user area is what's under home and then your home folder for that user. Now, if there was other users, there would be more names here of their names of their home folders. And so this is where we can create a file and delete a file or move it to the trash can. But if you go back to any other place other than home, as you saw, the operating system will not let me delete or move files to the trash can that's not in my home folder. So it's kind of hard to break your system. I don't know if many of you remember in XP, you could delete the command com file and your computer would be dead. It wouldn't boot. You'd have to have it repaired to get it started again. Well, Linux will not let you do that. It's kind of hard to break it. Many Linux operating system packages to choose from. So here is kind of what the Wikipedia has for all the Linux types of variations of Linux, from Debian and everything that other Linux that branches off of Debian. Like we know Ubuntu is based on Debian, and there's Ubuntu. I know Peppermint OS is based on Ubuntu, and so there it is right there. Same with LXLE. And there's Linux Mint that's showing it's based on Ubuntu. And then there's Slackware Linux types. And here we come down to Red Hat Linux, which is now Red Hat Enterprises. And we can see there's Fedora Core, which is now Fedora, and where Core branches off of Fedora. This one I have not heard of, Enoch Linux. Here's Arch, then Manjaro, which is what that I use sometimes and that I find that I'm liking. And there's a whole bunch of other individual ones that just spawned and grew. So, why am I bringing this up? You would think that's confusing. So, with many Linux operating systems to choose from, it is harder to attack a single OS, unlike Windows. So, if someone does some black hat hacking with the malicious virus, malwares, and Trojans, it's much easier to hit a larger group of people using the same type of platform and same type of programming. Unlike with Linux, all these different types of platforms, it would be hard to get somebody with a virus or a Trojan or a malware with all these different types of platforms. So it's kind of hard for you to get infected in that sense too, because Red Hat Enterprise Linux installs software differently than Debian-based software. And so does Manjaro. They install their software similar to the way Arch would. And so then there's all these individual ones, and I just don't know how they would install their software, but it makes it all that much more harder for you to get attacked. That's why I bring that up. Easier to use. When you click on the menu, it sort of kind of breaks it down. Now this is Lubuntu. And so the menu here in most Linux distributions sort of kind of breaks it down into groups. Education, graphics, there you have GIMP, Inkscape, Scribus, a document viewer to view PDFs, master PDF editor, image magic to view images and pictures, internet, Firefox, Google Chrome, transmission, UGet, Pigeon, Office. And so you see, much easier to use to find what you're looking for and what you want. If you know you want to do something with graphics and pictures, you have those selections right there. If you know you're going to do some type of Word document, you have all these right here. If you know you're going to listen to music or watch a video, there's VLC. Then of course there's system tools. System tools in case you wanted to know anything that's going on with your system. So in that sense, it kind of makes it easier to use. Things are kind of categorized, and you can just go right to that menu category and do what you need to do. Highly customizable in looks and in functions. Now this here is Lubuntu. As you can see, I have my Neo Fetch here running. This is Ubuntu 16.04 Lorem LTS. The DE is LXDE. Window Manager is OpenBox. But the theme is Pop. Pop ETA. And the icons are Pop. And so what you would do is you would follow the instructions from where you download these themes and icons, and you go to your customize look and feel, and just click. And then everything will be back to where you once had it. So highly customizable. I like the Pop. For right now, I'm liking the Pop. And there's other ways of being highly customizable. In my preferences here, I have installed this application, Menu Libre. Now I've created my own category here, and in there I put some of the applications I like to use. You see here like application launcher, like a quick launcher, like would be in Windows. There's a file manager, Firefox, Google Chrome, and so maybe I have some favorites that I use, but not as often. I just want to go to one place and get them. And so how would I do this? I right click, get properties. Add launcher. And then I like to copy these. I don't know why. I just like to copy them. Then the command. Copy the command. Browse for the icon. And there we go, LibreOffice. And then this here's the save. And then boom, there you go, highly customizable. Now I can launch LibreOffice right from there. So it's highly customizable in function, in your menus, in the looks and in the feel. You can get docs, CarrioDoc, DocE, and there's more. So it's highly customizable. You can edit your menu, your start button. You can put many images up there. You can even change the images so your menu button or your start button looks different. Over here, I have this is a panel. In Linux, it's called a panel, not a taskbar. You can add different things. I can do a temperature monitor if I wanted to. Something saying it's 40 degrees Celsius right now. Or you can just remove it. It's that easy, that simple. So even your taskbar, your panel, is highly customizable. Here I can see I'm using 41.7, just under 41% of the RAM. Here my CPU is using just under 70%. It's flip-flopping back and forth between 65 and 67%. So it's highly customizable. You can even customize your login screen. Of course, there we go with that famous password that we need to have. If you have a picture of yourself, you can put a picture in there, or you can select an avatar, change the wallpaper. User, share, backgrounds. And so next time I log out and restart, I'll get the same picture that you see here. Save, of course. See here my wallpapers. One program used to upgrade applications in the system OS instead of doing each individually. Not everybody in the computer operating world has one application that can do all this for you. So when I come over here, Software Updater, now you can see the usarchive.ubuntu.com here in security. So let's search in those internet places that I told you about. One application is going to see what the operating system itself needs to be updated and the applications at the same time to update and upgrade. And I just did this, so it should be all up to date. Ooh. Well, that must be new. It's really small. I'm going to say remind me later. So one application for your system and software, productivity software, and all these other applications to update everything with. You have control of the updating abilities also. Here we go. So I can change this every 2 days, weekly, every 2 weeks, or never to automatically check. I can choose it to download automatically, download and install automatically, or just display. Display immediately. So you have control of your updating. And when it says, when you do never, obviously just like I showed you, you have to do it manually whenever you decide to. So you have control. It's not going to force an update when you're not ready for it to be forced and you have work to do. You have control of the updating. The Linuxes I like to use. As you can see, this is my Lubuntu here. I have a Manjaro KDE I like to use and a LXDE, PC Linux OS KDE, and an LXDE. I just like to use different ones. And the last of all, the reason why I believe you should use Linux as well, and why I like to use it, is free. It's just a download off the internet. You make a DVD or put the images on a USB thumb drive, then you install it. So, this is why I use Linux. Thank you very much.